I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Thursday, October the 1st, brought to you in part by Ozark and Heart of America Beefmaster Breeders annual fall roundup sale. It's going to be this Saturday, October the 3rd, at the nice facility there at Springfield Livestock Marketing Center. It's going to be at 2:30 p.m. Central. Now they've got a big offering of purebred replacements there, including a dispersal of the Angry Crow Ranch. So you be sure and go there. If you can't get there, no problem. Just log on to dvauction.com, 2:30 there, or you want to get in there early, make sure you're registered and ready to go. But going to be a really nice offering of Beefmaster replacement stock. The market of the month, it's the first day of the month, and if you guys have been watching for the last several months, we've been doing a market of the month, just everything to promote livestock auctions. And it's a market that we feel like within the last month has deserved to be kind of credited with what a good place they are for price discovery. They're doing a good job in their area. May not be the biggest, may not be the highest, but they're doing a hell of a job. For last month, for the month of September, your Zactran market of the month is Bloomfield Livestock Market in Bloomfield, Iowa. The Schooley family there, they've had that market forever. It's there in southeast Iowa. They do a wonderful job marketing those cattle, and they've got long-time customers there that keep bringing their cattle. They've coached them on what the buyers want, and they consistently get top prices. Going, you know, those cattle will be leaving out of there, going to central Nebraska, going up to Illinois, of course staying there in Iowa, going all over the country. But tell you what, got to give it to the Schooley family there. Roman Schooley there, he's getting old enough now. He's taking a big part in it there, but his dad and his uncle have been there for a long time. But I tell you what, we want to give credit to Bloomfield Livestock Market, Bloomfield, Iowa. The month and the quarter changed. That probably did as much to affect the markets as anything on Wednesday. You know, you never know what's going to happen because everybody's got their own you know, way of going with their business. They may be flopping over their investments. Of course, whenever we're dealing with commodity markets, we're always dealing with fund managed money. And we just never know what they're going to do. So you're always kind of prepared for a flip-flop. You don't want to be left hanging out. Well, also coupled with your month and quarter change, we saw a grain stocks report come out. And it was a whopper. I tell you what, historically, this particular grain stocks report that comes out right here in the fall, 1st of October, it's one where they kind of adjust where they'd screwed everything up, you know, in past reports. But because we're coming right in here to early harvest and everything. But I tell you what, you know, if a guy didn't know any better, he'd think we had a grain shortage because corn come in with corn stocks down 10%, beans down 42%. Now this is compared to the same report last year, but it was a big one there, and you know they kind of saw part of this coming, but not all of it. Wheat down 8%. In turn, we saw your Chicago Board of Trade corn and bean futures and wheat also going up big time. Corn was up 14.25. Beans were up 30.5. Your Kansas City wheat up around 30 cents, and Chicago wheat nearly that much. So I tell you what, that is a big hit for livestock, and your feeder cattle futures showed it. They were down hard. Live cattle or fat cattle futures hung right in there, and we saw your trade take off. It closed the basis up quite a bit, and I told you guys on the last visit we were going to gain ground in your fat cattle trade, and indeed we are gaining ground in your fat cattle trade. Your auctions, they didn't hinge so much on your futures, and they were pretty darn good too, even on some big calf strings out west. Let's get right to your board on Wednesday. October live cattle futures down 35 cents at 108.55. December down 77 cents at 112.35. Going out front from there, and they were kind of mixed from down 35 cents to up 22, but not too much volatility there considering everything that's happened on Wednesday. October feeder cattle down 157 at 141.35. November down $1.72 at 142.05. You go on out from there, and they were all down. Of course, you know that's your biggest input for the most part. Once you got the cattle bought, is your feed, and you go on out from there on your feeder cattle futures down $1 to down $1.40. Ouch. Fat cattle trade. We saw your trade get established on Wednesday, and the guys were prepared to hang out till Thursday or Friday if they had to, but your Packers kind of came up on a slightly down fat cattle futures day, and we were threatened with some deliveries there if they didn't get something done, because we were sitting close to 109 and we were at 105 on your cash market, but they come up to 107. We had a lot of guys that were priced at 108, 109. But 107, that's another $2 to gain. And when you got things as topsy-turvy as we saw on Wednesday, a lot of the guys went ahead and took it. We didn't see all that much confirmed sales because they mostly did it in the afternoon after we seen them come through, especially in the southern plains. We didn't see anything in the southern plains until late. But Iowa started taking it, and you can't really blame them. I mean, we gained $5 in the last 2 weeks, gain another $2 right here. I tell you what, you got to take it when you can get it, but when they're giving it to you in lumps, like $2 at a time, you don't want to miss out. Iowa had confirmed sales of 2,800 head on Wednesday at 107 and 167. That's $2 both live and dressed. Nebraska, 2,100 head confirmed, but a lot more than that traded later in the day. And your Packers got to report that the latest. That would have been a 2:30 report. So a lot of those didn't get turned in until late, but they'll be on the roundup and be pretty big movement for a Wednesday. But 2,100 head confirmed from 106 to mostly 107 and 167 dressed. Kansas started to get some confirmed sales, but I got some texts and some reports, talked to some guys. They started moving a lot of cattle in Kansas at 107 late in the day, but really didn't hardly have any confirmed. Texas had a few confirmed. Weak Sister bailed out at 106, but they'll likely get to 107 in Texas also. But not too bad. I tell you what, you know, when your feeder cattle board, of course, it doesn't have anything to do with fat cattle, but when it's down that much, and then it's pulling on your live cattle futures, and we've got a topsy-turvy deal with your month and quarter changing, and then you know, very bullish grain stocks report that was bearish for your cattle. I mean, to get that on a day like that, you go ahead and take it. Box beef cutout values continue stronger right during the time that they should be down, and I tell you what, a lot of it has to do to our fantastic export sales that we've seen. But choice cuts on Wednesday afternoon up 58 cents at 217.74. Selects 207.54, and that was up 55 cents. Slaughter, pretty good click right along here. 358,000 through Wednesday, 3,000 less than a week ago, but 5,000 more than the same week a year ago. What else is going on? You guys can tell I'm not at home base. Coffeyville, Kansas, going to be at the North Barn here. Coffeyville Livestock, so Brian Little sale. He's got a bunch of his buddies coming in here. We're all going to take turns auctioneering, and they've got Customer Appreciation Day. He's got a good sale put together, 2,500, 3,000 head, something like that. And, you know, I don't know what the heck I'm doing here. I guess so they can all make fun of me, but I will be the mule at the horse show. But you've got some outstanding auctioneers here. I will get up and sell for a while, but we've got Jay Romine, lead auctioneer, Bluegrass Stockyards. We've got the Beast from Alabama. Chuck Bradley's going to be here. We got John Shaven coming down. We got the youngest world champion livestock auctioneer ever, Blaine Lotz, which his voice, you know, belongs behind a rodeo announcer microphone, but I mean, he's fantastic too. All those guys going to be here, and some more that I don't even know. But you might want to get on and watch that sale, or if you're around the four-state area, come to Coffeyville and come for Customer Appreciation Day, and we're probably going to have a lot of fun. Let's talk about your feeder cattle market. Your real-time index on DV Auction late in the afternoon on Wednesday, sitting at 141.11. That was down $1.02. and we did have a lot of Tuesday sales with a lot of calves pulling that down. For the most part, your true yearling feeders were still selling higher, and your bigger calves, even though most of them would be backgrounded heavily, selling pretty darn good too. But OKC West, El Reno, Oklahoma, I drove right by there, didn't have time to stop in and visit my buddies there, but I did notice they were clicking right along, had a pretty good run in the pens there. 5,200 head there at El Reno. Feeder steers $1 to $4 higher. Feeder heifers mostly steady to $2 higher. Lighter tested calves selling steady to weak. They had very impressive sales, but for El Reno, they're not in a farmer feeder region, and they don't normally sell huge feeder cattle, but they sold 100 head of 1,041 pound steers at $130. I thought that was pretty good. John Cooper told me they were a well of a set of cattle, and sold some lighter end off of them awful well too, but that's a good market on some big feeders. Dodge City, Kansas, Winter Livestock had a good sale, 2,100 head there, mostly $4 to $6 higher. Good clip there. A big quote I saw out of Winter Livestock, Dodge City, was 60 head, 926 pound steers, bring $144.75. Torrington Livestock Markets, I want to give you some calf quotes here. 107 head of 505 pound steer calves. They'd have been fancy there at Torrington. 171.50. Wow, I tell you what, that's kind of a benchmark. You got good enough calves to weigh a flat 5 and bring 170 or better. Hardly anybody does, and you can't get it anywhere, but they did it in Torrington. But how about Twin Falls Livestock Commission, Twin Falls, Idaho? I'm going to be out there next week. I'm going to be at Emmett, Idaho next Monday, this coming Monday, giving a talk there. They've got kind of a customer appreciation deal there on Monday. I'm going to be down in Twin Falls, and I'm going to be doing a talk there. But look at the calf quote out of Twin Falls, Idaho. 77 head, 477 pound fancy steer calves, bring 165.25. That's pretty darn good. I mean, for way over there. At the top quote I saw anywhere come out of my old stomping grounds, San Jose Stockyards, St. Joe, Missouri. My buddies that were there, I tell you what, Mark Service, he sent me a quote there, and I could barely believe it, but he told me this is some young kids over there in northeastern Kansas. They bulled up and went in there right after the COVID and bought some light calves, bought the right kind, backgrounded them there, mostly just on grass. Maybe gave them a little bit of commodity feed on grass there just so they could handle them. But look at this quote out of St. Joe Stockyards. 79 head, 789 pound green steers, 156.25. And that's your feeder flash for Thursday.